Okay, it's recording. Hold on, that's a different look I'm going for. Hi everyone, I'm Jojo and I like to talk about my life as a wife, content creator, and business owner. And today I have a special guest, this guy over here, and he's my husband. He's like the sweetest and cutest, most handsomest guy. And today we're gonna share you how we met, because it was kind of unique and very random. And I feel like it was only under certain circumstances for it to happen. And the interesting thing is that a fortune teller foretold that it was gonna happen too. So interesting. Let's get started. So I was in Guam, and every Saturday I was going to a salsa club. On this one specific day, this guy just came out of nowhere. I never saw him at the salsa club. He asked to dance with me, so we did. He seemed really nice and really cool, very suave and very smooth. I wonder if people will think this is you. Oh no! Anyway, he was very nice, and then he invited me over to a party. So I go there. I didn't know anyone. The only person I knew was the guy who invited me, and I really felt out of place. The guy I come with ditches me, starts talking to other people, so I'm kind of just alone. So I try to like make conversations with people, but it wouldn't really go anywhere. So I was really bored. I was like, I don't need to be here, I'm just gonna go leave. So I waited for the guy who invited me to finish talking with his friend, which took forever. I was there on my phone. I don't know what I was doing. This guy walked in front of me and said,
"You seem like you're really bored right now."
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were just sitting on your phone.
I looked up from my phone. I saw his face, and I was like, "Oh, what a nice looking guy." And then I guess like once we started having a conversation, me wanting to leave kind of just went out the window, because we were talking like for a while. I don't know how long it was for, but
Oh, it was for a few hours.
yeah, for a few hours, like just back and forth. And that's like the number one sign for me is like the moment I meet them, we can talk for hours and not know how much time has gone by. And that's pretty much what happened with Vivek. Yeah, oh yeah, I never said his name. His name is Vivek and he's my husband.
Yeah. This is like the only reason we were even there was because we were stationed in Okinawa, and there was a typhoon that was on its way. The way our base is situated is we can't put our planes in any hangars where they'll actually be protected from 90-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
So then we have to fly them over to somewhere else, some other local base. We flew them to Guam, and we were just there waiting for the typhoon to pass so that we could fly back to Okinawa. I think that's probably like the only time where I was drinking regularly and staying tipsy like all day. Because it was Guam. It was like party. Leading up to it, I had lost track of the people that I was hanging out with. Oh no, I remember they had gone into like a strip club and I didn't really want to be there.
Yeah.
So I went back to the hotel and I was messaging all the people that I actually worked with, like people in my shop, and they weren't answering their phones, they weren't responding. And I ended up on the lobby floor, and I look up and I see two of them hanging over the rail, and I go up the elevator and go to their room. I walked in and I saw there was literally only two girls, and they're both sitting on the bed, one of them staring at a TV, the other one staring at her phone.
So that's how we met. Vivek flew to Guam because of weather, or because of a typhoon.
We were only there for 3 days. Oh yeah, we were supposed to be flying out at 7 in the morning, and then
We met like at midnight or something?
Around midnight, and you ended up going home at like 4 a.m.
I was living with my parents and I wanted to make sure I was at home before they woke up. But then I figured, well, they know I wake up at like 5:30 to go to the gym, so maybe I'll just say like, oh, I just got back home from the gym. If I ever came home late, but like, yeah, we were just talking, and then I found that he had to leave. So that was that. I left and went back home. I never gave like my real name or my number. I just said my name was Jojo, which is my nickname.
Yeah.
So there was really no way for him to contact me.
I just remember searching, and I was trying to find someone. I don't remember the names I was going by. I don't even remember how I remembered your name. If I remembered your name, maybe I was just going through and I kept trying different names.
Yeah. No, because you sent me that screenshot where you did like different variations of my name, like Jojo Guam, Jojo Tuman, Jojo Jojo Janita, like different villages in Guam with Jojo, but like On Facebook, I go by like my actual name, Johanna, but he couldn't find me there, and then he typed Jojo on Instagram, and then he found me there. We were like messaging each other every day.
Then I saw that you were going to a yoga retreat. Like I saw it in one of your Instagram stories or something, and then so I was like, okay, that seems interesting, seems cool. And then I'd go, and I already have someone that I know at least a little bit. That was cool to talk to.
Yeah.
And you were super excited.
Yeah, I was really excited. For 10 days, we were with each other like 24/7. And that was pretty much our first date. So it was like an intensive first date. And part of the yoga retreat wasn't just doing yoga, but was also doing a lot of like mindful and mindset exercises to like open yourself up, open your heart. So I had to share a lot of stuff that I was going through. But then I would hear all these things about him too. So it was very interesting, like getting to know him on a very intimate level with things we wouldn't normally tell people, like on a first date, especially.
I do. But I'm weird.
After that whole trip, I went back to Guam, he went back to Okinawa, and then from there it was long distance.
But I had done a long distance relationship before that inevitably didn't work out. Before I had been pretty insistent that I was never going to do a long distance relationship again, but then I liked Johanna enough. But I made a rule because I saw most long distance relationships as pretty much futile if you're not actually going to be together.
Yeah.
If you don't actually know when it's going to happen, then
Yeah.
what's really the point? You go 3, 4, 5 years, still be living away from each other. So I said, we can set a deadline. By this time, either we need to be physically closer together or we just call it off.
I said I was gonna go visit him in Okinawa like 3 months after Thailand. And I had like my book flight and everything, but I had to push back, I think, my flight twice. And I think by the time I had to push it back the second time, Vivek started feeling
demoralized. Is
Yeah.
like there was a goal that was just, being either procrastinated or avoided.
5 months later, I finally visited him. By that time, we were like, okay, we'll call each other boyfriend and girlfriend. And then the first time he said, I love you on the beach. It was really nice. I really liked that. So the moment I arrived back in Guam into my room, I had this feeling, it's like, I don't want to stay here anymore. Like if there's anything, I want to be somewhere else. What really motivated me was like wanting to be with Vivek. And Vivek's the kind of person who's very open. He'll tell you what he thinks. He'll never beat around the bush. And he also shares a lot of himself, very easily. And that's something I really value in someone. Finally, it was like more long distance. I would fly more. I would be the one going to Okinawa to see him from Guam. And then a year later, that's when I moved to Japan. It was very interesting telling my parents like, oh, I'm gonna move to Japan, and they were like, oh. I forgot what the reaction was. I always talked about Vivek when I was at home. Oh yeah, Vivek does this, Vivek does that. He's like this, he's like that. Just so that she can get to know him, and I would do the same thing with my dad. And they actually met him in Christmas, and Vivek came over to join us. He met all my relatives in Philippines. 2 months later, that's when I moved in. And then like 9 months later, and then that's when he proposed to me. And then 2 weeks later, after that, we got married. Our marriage was more like on paper. We didn't have a celebration just because we were both abroad from our families.
I mean, being in the military, it's a bit different. It's like, me personally, I don't really see the point in waiting. Anyways, except for it just being like the ceremony being the symbolic part of it. I get it. I get that part is people want to wait for it to be official, for the symbolism and the meeting and everything.
Yeah.
But you're already engaged. You can get married and have a ceremony later.
Yeah.
It's
a different life and different culture.
I was already like that anyways. Is like I didn't feel rushed for me because I was already in that kind of mindset where I was fine with just doing it anyways. Like just go ahead and getting married. And then do the ceremony later.
There's this manghuhula that I would always see in Philippines at least once a year when I'd visit. It'd be like a thing with my family. It would just be for fun. We always take things with a grain of salt, but it's just nice to hear, these things about yourself. And I would always take notes on what they would say and then see if they would happen in the future.
That's real paranoia.
So each time I visit them, I would always ask, who's my future husband gonna be? And the answer is always different. Nothing's ever set in stone, but based on different choices in your life, it's gonna lead you towards a certain path. I have no idea who the other two guys who were supposed to be my future husband, but the one that did describe the fake, the lady said, oh, this guy's gonna be really, he's a really kind guy. He's really kind, he's very sweet. He's a very simple looking man when you first meet him.
Definitely very simple. It was my hair was not cut. It was definitely longer than normal. Is wearing a tank top and white shorts and
slippers,
sneakers.
And then she also said like, oh, I see him on a boat. And my sister said like, oh, maybe he owns a boat. And then the other one said, maybe he's a fisherman. So it was like different possibilities. How does he look like? She said guapo, like he's very handsome and very macho. So like, you know, very big and strong. So it was very fitting for like his description. And I asked like, oh, is he Pinoy? And she was like, no. 2 weeks later was when we met in the hotel. I think the part where she saw him on the boat was when in Thailand we had to take a boat going to the resort. So it could have been the ferry boat we rode on or this really tiny small boat that we rode on together. Yeah, so after we got married, we ended up moving to Germany. Vivek got an assignment here, and now here we are in Germany. So that's the story of how we met. Since then, being married to him for 1 year, we just celebrated our first anniversary a couple weeks ago. We're both good in communicating with each other, and we're both very open, and we're also like kind and generous to each other. Yeah, like I think since then, just being open with our communication has really brought us closer together. And I was going on Tinder a lot just to meet people. You know, I just wanted to go out with guys just to date casually and get more comfortable being around guys and being around men because of this story that I had over here. Turns out I would be meeting my future husband from that. My name is Jojo. I like to talk about my life as a wife, content creator, business owner, and then just a bunch of other things that I come across in life. And please like this video if you found it interesting or you found it like entertaining, and please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Any last words?
I don't know.
You can just say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, that's it.